Welcome back to our Introduction to C++ series. This is part 4, where we're going to be learning about loops and while loops. So let's make a new folder. This will be part 4. And let's start first with a few loop examples. So I'm going to make a new file, and I'm going to call this loopexamples.cpp. And we're going to make a main method, and in it I'm going to show you how to do a for loop and a while loop. So int main, you can always return 0 at the end. And let's start with a for loop. So I'm going to write a comment and say for loop example. So let's first write the syntax for our for loop. So for, and then we use a counter, in this case int I equaling 0. I is less than 10. I plus plus. So what this is going to do is going to initialize our variable I at 0. Then while our I is less than 10, we're going to keep doing whatever inside this code block. And every time we finish going through this code block, we're going to increment I by 1. So that's adding just 1 to it. So the first time I is going to come in, it's going to be 0. The next time it's going to be 1, 2, 3, all the way up to our 9th time it comes true, it becomes 10. 10 will not be less than 10. It's equal. So then we will break out of our for loop. So let's have it where we're going to print out what the number is. So let's include our IO string. So include IO string. And I'm going to be using cout. So let's say that we're using namespace std. So cout, and I'm going to outprint I and then a space. So this will outprint 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 9. Let's test this. So go to my terminal, run our build task, executing down here, and then I'm going to open up our terminal and I'm going to run loop examples. And there it is, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 9. So for loops are very good for iterative solutions, things that you're adding up or doing for a set amount of time. Another loop that we would use is a while loop. So here is a while loop example. We can actually write this code here as a while loop. So the keyword in C++ for while loop is, you guessed it, while. So while we have a value I. So in the case of a while loop, we need to declare our variable first. So we will have something like int k equaling to 0. So while k is less than 10, we're going to do a set amount of code. In this case, we're doing exactly the same thing as above. So we're going to say cout, in this case k. This will be a space. Now, this will constantly repeat until k becomes less than 10. So what's really important here is that we increment k after this line break. Otherwise, this will run infinitely. So k plus plus. So here is a while loop doing the exact same code as our for loop here. So what I'm going to do right before running this while loop, I'm going to actually put a line break so you can see that they both will outprint the same. So cout and line. So let's build this and see our code. So run the build task and then run our loop examples. There we go. Both the for loop and the while loop are equivalent, so they give the same result. So for loops you use more for iterative solutions, things that are adding up and eventually will break out. While loops are usually when you don't have an iterative solution. So we're going to end this with an example of when to use a while loop. So we're going to make a new file here. I'm going to call this multiplication quiz. .cpp. So if you've watched my introduction to Java video, you've actually done this multiplication quiz already. So we're taking what I've done in the introduction to Java video and putting it as C++. So we're going to make a main entry point. So this is int main. So what we're going to do is that we're going to generate two random numbers, and we're going to ask the user what is number 1 multiplied by number 2. And if they get it correct, they will get an outprint saying, yay, you got it right, and the program will end. Otherwise, they will keep getting prompted to try again until they get it right. So we're going to use a few different libraries here. We're going to use our IO stream, which is going to do our outprints and inputs. So we're going to include IO stream. And we're going to use a library that can help us generate a random value. So we're going to be using a method called rand. And rand is available under our standard library. So we're going to include stdlib.h. And this is the header file that holds our rand. So we're going to generate two random numbers first. So let's declare two integers. We're going to have int number A and number B. So we're actually declaring two integers on the same line. And so number A is an int and number B is an int. And now we want to set number A and number B to do two different random numbers. So we can say number A equals ran, and then %10 plus 1. And what this does is generates a random number between 1 and 10. 1 and 10. Let's do this again for B. So I'm going to copy this line, and this is going to be number B. So now let's outprint to the user a question. We're going to ask, what is number A times number B? Since I'm outprinting, I'm going to use cout, and I'm also going to use cin to read in from the user. So using namespace std. So let's outprint. Cout, what is number A times number B, question mark, and then end line. So this is going to outprint if our random number for A was 2 and B was 5. It would say, what is 2 times 5? And now we need the user to guess. So we're going to have an answer come in. So let's declare int answer. And then we're going to read in answer from the terminal. So cin answer. So if the answer is correct, we're going to say they got it right. But if it's not correct, we want to keep prompting them. So we can make a while loop. So while number A times number B does not equal, which means that the answer isn't correct, we're going to keep prompting them to try again. So cout incorrect, try again. And then we'll give end line. And they'll read in answer again. So we need to update with the answer that they're putting in. So cin answer. So once they get this correct, which means once number A times number B is correct, we're going to say you got it right. So we'll outprint, yeah, you got it right, and the program will exit. So cout Yay, you got it right. And the program will exit. So let's say return 0. Let's test this. So terminal, run build task, PowerShell, and we're going to call multiplication quiz. So / multiplication quiz. So what is 2 times 8? So if I get it wrong, like 12, that's incorrect, try again, 16. Yay, you got it right. Awesome, let's try again. What's 2 times 8? Well, it's weird because it should be a random number. What's the chances of that occurring? Well, if you keep rerunning this, you'll see that you're gonna always be asked what is whatever your random number is. So there's one more thing that we have to do to generate a random number in C++. We have to seed our random number. We have to call something called srand. If you don't use srand with the random number, you'll get the same sequence, same random numbers generated constantly. So we fix this by doing srand, and how we can seed the generator is by using the current time on our machine, because every time the program runs, the time is different. So we're going to use a library called ctime. So include ctime. And right before we call rand, we are going to seed our random values. So we call srand, and we pass in unsigned, and then we call this method time, which gets the time of our system. So time 0 and a semicolon. You only need to call the srand function once at the beginning of your code or before calling random. Do not do it every single time you call rand. So we only use it once. If you call it more than once, it can influence the generation of random numbers negatively. So let's build our code and run our multiplication quiz. So run build task, and let's do our multiplication quiz. What is 1 times 2? It's different, yay. So let's say 2, and let's run it again. 1 times 6, 6, and let's run it one more time. 10 times 8. So now you've learned how to generate a random number in C++. So what you've learned is how to do a for loop and how to work with a while loop. For loops are more for iterative solution. While loops are more for things that you can't really plan. So when you're waiting on a condition to be met. So congratulations, you've just made another step in your C++ journey.